Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Welcome back to the Canadian Gap Year Association YouTube channel. My name is Claire, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience taking a year abroad. So for a little bit of context, at the beginning of my gap year, I flew over to the UK on my own to go live in the UK for the duration of my gap year. And that was probably one of the biggest leaps of faith that I had to take during my year. And it came with a lot of challenges and opportunities for exploration and adventure. So yeah, today I'm going to be talking about my experience. I'm going to kind of structure this video like a Q&A type of thing, and I've written out some questions that people have asked me about my experience in the UK and the most common ones, I guess. So the first one is, why the UK? Why you're from Canada? Why did you choose the UK to go travel to? And my primary reason is that I know someone who lives there. My boyfriend, many of you may have heard of him. His name's David, and we met online several years ago, and we just started dating a year before the gap year happened. And it just so happened that this year he was taking a gap year as well. So it worked out really well to just kind of take that step forward into maturity, kind of with him as well, and yeah, just kind of see where it took us, because we were both looking to just kind of have a part-time job on the side, and it just worked really well in terms of lifestyle choices, and yeah, kind of having a free reign to do whatever we wanted with our year. So yeah, that's the primary reason, is because my boyfriend already lived there. The second reason is because I had the ability to work there. Part of being part of a Commonwealth country includes the Tier 5 or the Working Holiday Visa Scheme. You can learn more about that in the description below, but it's basically, it allows youth from, I think it's 18 to 30 in most countries, go to another country for up to 2 years. That's also part of the program, and it's relatively affordable, very accessible, and yeah, it gives you the opportunity to just live and work in another country and kind of getting that world experience, just kind of working in a different place. And so I took advantage of that. I got the Tier 5 youth visa for the UK, and I only used half of my visa. I can go back to the UK now and work if I wanted to, but obviously I'm going to do university, so that's not what I've decided to do. So, but I could still go back and work right now, because it hasn't expired. And the final smaller reason why I decided to go to the UK, among the other things that I've already discussed, is that it's closer to Europe for traveling. We didn't do that much traveling during our gap year, but I think the main thing is we wanted to be able to be in a place where it was going to be affordable once we were in that country, and it definitely was. We took 3 10-pound flights to France, which were incredible and very cheap compared to Canada. Sorry, I kind of lost my words there for a second. Okay, the next question is, did you ever get homesick when you were living away from your family? So yeah, I did. This was my first time kind of living away from home for such a long period of time. It was 11 months. I'm back home now, but this was 11 months, and so yeah, I definitely did, but it didn't happen at the beginning for me, actually. After we came back from our month-long kind of vacation, workaway experience in France, I actually got really homesick then, and my theory as to why, is basically because, normally at the end of a vacation, you go home, and you go to somewhere where you consider your home, and for me, it was I was going from one vacation kind of to another, and not having much to do with that other one, and from going from having a lot to do during the France vacation, was definitely, it felt weird, and I was very homesick then. So yeah, I did get homesick. I'd say it actually lasted about a month, so it was quite long, but it challenged me, because yeah, I definitely was I can't go home at this point, it's too expensive, but I really miss everyone. So the next question is, how did you overcome the homesickness? So normally when I mention to people that I was homesick on my gap year, or I was homesick traveling away, they want to know how I overcame it. And so, yeah, there was a couple ways. I think the main ones were contacting friends that I knew online and trying to schedule virtual calls with them and just kind of reconnect with them and reminisce over memories. And I think for me it was really nice because it did remind me that even though I was here in the UK, you know, I still have a very established life back home. And yeah, I think one of the things contributing to that homesickness too was like the way that the pandemic ended, like my high school experience. Like I didn't get to like say goodbye to a lot of people who I would have wanted to. I didn't get to reconnect with them and kind of have that closure and have that like, well, you know, good luck at university next year kind of experience. And so yeah, it was quite different, and so I think that contributed to it. But being able to reconnect with those friends, even if it was just online, and then, you know, making plans to meet when I come back to Canada definitely put me in a better headspace. The other thing was reconnecting with my family. I did a call with, like, all of my aunts and cousins, and it was really nice for me. And I also called with my mom a ton, which was very helpful as well. Just things to make you feel a little bit more at home with yourself as well. So, the other thing that I did to kind of beat homesickness was keep myself busy. Like, it's very easy to just kind of wallow in kind of feeling sad and, like, homesick and missing things, but it's also very easy to get distracted from it. So I just tried to, you know, find some things to do. I ended up getting another job. I ended up starting my non-for-profit and doing all these different things that definitely kept me more occupied than I was when I first came back from France. And so, yeah, keeping myself busy definitely helped. So the next question I get when I mention that I've been overseas traveling is, what was it like getting your Tier 5 youth visa? Because a lot of gappers are interested in it, and it seems like a very daunting process, and I definitely felt like that as well. I was very worried that I was gonna mess up, like, my form, like, doing it, but, you know, just being very diligent with the form and being, like, reading it over twice, 3 times, like, was definitely, necessary, and it paid off. I submitted it, and then I went to go in for my biometrics, and that was all good, and then once I sent my passport and my biometrics off, I got a response within 3 weeks, so that was, like, incredible. I wasn't expecting it, because normally government stuff takes a long time, but I got a response in 3 weeks, and then I was authorized to travel to the UK, using a temporary thing, but I could go to the UK anyways, because I'm a Canadian citizen, and so I had entered clearance, and then I entered the UK, and then I went to the post office in the UK, picked up my permit, and then I was legally allowed to work there. And so yeah, it was a very daunting experience just because it was like a government document, and I was very worried about it not being accepted, but it turned out fine, and yeah, I'm all good now. The next major question I get moving to the UK was, hey, well, what was it like? You know, what was it like moving to a new country where you didn't know anyone and where you didn't have really anything established to do? Like, you didn't have a job, you just kind of moved, you know? Prior to this experience, I had never been to the UK before. And other than, like, during transit, like when I was going to South Africa, but yeah, I had never been to the UK before, so I really didn't know what to expect. I'd say I definitely came into it with like a lot of preconceived ideas about the UK and like what people in the UK were like, just based on like what I had heard. And so yeah, I was a bit nervous about that, but quickly made connections with people, so that wasn't much of a big deal. And you know, I definitely like learned a lot about the UK while I was there, and the people in the UK as well. So yeah, I guess at first, like when I was there, it felt like a vacation, you know, kind of during the summer months when I was doing my job, and then I kind of realized, like, hey, this is like not a vacation, it's just like my life, and I can just live it, you know, like, and then it kind of hit me how long I'd be living there, and then I started to think about things a bit more, like, not more seriously, but like, kind of, I just started taking myself like a bit more maturely, if that makes sense. Yeah, so overall, I think that the differences were very small differences, in a lot of ways, but it also amounted to the country being a very different place than Canada, and yeah, I think definitely, like, looking back at it, like, there's absolutely, like, pros and cons to each country. You can't really weigh them against each other like that, but, yeah, I absolutely loved my time in the UK. I loved the people that I met. I loved the experience that I had. You know, they weren't all positive, but I think you can definitely take so much away from the negative ones as well. Like, just because you have them in your experience doesn't take away from the value of it. And in fact, I think it actually adds to the value. So, yeah, I definitely took a lot away from my experience in the UK. I tell this to a lot of people, like, the major difference between living in the UK and living in Canada, for me, it was not the difference in country. It was more just the difference in the size of the place I was living in. So, I come from Toronto, and so Toronto is a lot bigger than Warrington in the UK where I was living, and so it definitely was an adjustment, you know, not being able to just walk 10 minutes to, like, Yonge and Eglinton over there, you know, like, it's absolutely a different experience, and I think it's more like the rural, you know, it's different urbanization, and it's different ability to go places and, you know, meet with friends, and so, yeah, it's not negative, it's just different. Definitely more opportunity to bike places, in my opinion, in the UK. It's a bit more rewarding because it takes a longer time. I guess I could put it that way. Next thing is, what did you learn? What did you learn moving to another country? I think the major thing I learned was centered around the people. Like, I kind of knew this already, but I just kind of reinforced the idea that, like, people live in different situations, but they're very similar in many ways. The majority want to very, very kind and very open, and I think that that's what's so nice about, like, traveling. Like, you kind of just get to see that and kind of break down all the, like, preconceived ideas and notions that you had in your head about people, and just kind of get to connect with them more, like, one-on-one and face-to-face, you know, connect with them on the same, like, just person-to-person level. And so I think, if anything, you know, the amount of warmth and positivity I experienced in the UK definitely was, like, it was just such a nice thing to see, you know, like, it just made my experience so much better, and it made my kind of outlook on going to these different places and traveling around, yeah, it just made it kind of all the better, because, you know, the fact that I know if I go somewhere, I'm going to be welcomed, and I'm going to be kind of met with open arms in a lot of places, is just nice to know, and, yeah, it's nice to keep with you, and it encourages you to kind of, like, bring that back to your own community as well. And so, yeah, I think that that's the biggest thing that I learned, that people are kind everywhere, and so you should be kind as well when someone comes to your neighborhood and someone is, like, new and, like, wants to be welcomed with open arms. You should be that person who welcomes them. And yeah. My advice, if you are taking a gap year abroad, go into it with an open and curious mind. I think that is the most important thing that you can do. Like, a lot of times when we go into scary experiences, we always go in with some hesitancy, but if we know that within that hesitancy we have a very open mind, and we're open to adventure and experiences, then that's when, like, the magic can happen, basically. And so, yeah, go into it with an open mind, keep yourself occupied, you know, plan things to do, and then figure out on the way if that's how you like to do it, but just have a few things to do that keep yourself concrete, and yeah. So anyways, guys, this is the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the Canadian Gap Year Association YouTube channel. I really hope that these tips were helpful for you, and if they were, let me know down in the comments. Right. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!